You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Good evening and welcome to the Branford Planning, Zoning and Commission. It's the meeting September 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. My name is Fred Russo and I'm the Secretary of the P&Z and I'm substituting for our Chairman, Chuck Andrestein. First, I would like to introduce members of the Branford Planning and Zoning Commission and ask each of them to acknowledge their presence as their name is called. Joe Vayuso.
Joe Vayuso is here.
Joe Chadwick.
Joe Chadwick is present.
Marcy Paluzzi.
Marcy's here.
Sharon Hutner.
Sharon Hutner is here.
David Dyer. I don't think David's here. And I'm Fred Russo. I also would like to introduce the members of our Branford Planning and Zoning office and ask each of them to acknowledge their presence as their name is called. Our Director of Planning and Zoning, Mikkel Wackers.
Here.
Our Assistant Town Planner, Dan Robinson.
Here.
Our Recording Secretary, Michelle Martin, who is taking notes at a remote location. Michelle, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so our meeting format is as follows. The applicant goes first and presents relevant information pertaining to the application. Staff reports will be discussed by staff members of the Planning and Zoning Office in reference to that application. Commission will be asked for their commentary concerning the application. Public commentary will then follow, and then the applicant is then allowed to respond to any questions raised during the public hearing. Once all the testimony is completed, a public hearing can either be closed or continued, depending on the circumstances of the meeting itself. I'd like to have our town planner read the legal notices. I normally do that, but serving as the role I am tonight, I would ask him to do that. So, Mikkel, if you could please read the public notices.
Certainly. Mikkel Wackers, Town Planner. A legal notice, Town of Branford. The Planning and Zoning Commission of the Town of Branford, Connecticut, hereby gives notice of public hearings to be held on Thursday, September 4th, 2025 at 7 p.m. by remote technology to consider applications listed below. Information regarding on how to participate in the public hearings will be provided on the Commissioner's meeting agenda and will be posted on the town's website at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. Application 1, 25-6.6, special exception for summer camp located at 103 Cherry Hill Road. John and Yvette Chambers, applicants and owners. 2, application number 25-7.1, zoning regulation amendment to sections 2.2, 4.8 L, and 7.20B to add cannabis establishment micro cultivator. Christopher Russo, Esquire, applicant. 3, application 25-7.2, special exception for an animal shelter for cats located at 53 East Industrial Road, Unit 1. A Transfer Love Rescue, Inc., care of Adrian Anna Pepe, applicant. Padula LLC, owner. 4, applicant number 25-7.3, zoning map amendment, incentive housing overlay district, IHOD at 230 East Main Street. Sharista Management LLC, applicant owner. 5, application number 25-7.4, special exception to construct 6 residential units located at 230 East Main Street. Sharista Management LLC, applicant owner. At said hearings, all persons have the right to be heard. Copies are on file in the Planning and Zoning Commission office at the Planning and Zoning Department. 1019 Main Street, Branford, Connecticut, 06405. Written communications may be sent to the above address or to planning and zoning at branford-ct.gov.
Thank you, Mikhail. Mikhail, can I ask you also to give us some information on for the general public to how to interact
Sure.
with our Zoom meeting?
Yes, certainly. So for a public hearing, instructions are if you wish to speak and you're using a computer with a microphone, you'll click raise your hand in the participant window. And if you're calling by phone, you press *9 to raise your hand. You can find this information to dial in information on the agenda. If you wish to speak, if you don't wish to speak, you can submit comments using the chat feature. We will monitor the chat the best we can, but speaking is preferred. For any comments, please provide your name as required by Public Act 22-3. If you're only viewing, then you're not required to provide your real name in the on their video screen. All agenda participation instructions are posted in the chat as well, and you can find them on the agenda.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we're ready for the public hearings to begin. Is our first applicant ready? That would be John and Yvette Chambers, applicants and owners, 103 Cherry Hill Road, special exception for a summer camp. Are they ready to be heard? Okay.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hello.
Hello, we're ready.
Yep, we hear you.
How are you? Thank you for having us this evening. And we have an application submitted to be accepted to include a summer program on our existing horse farm. You should stay there.
Is there anything else that we'd like to say, or is that it?
There's so much, but I don't know how much talking there is to be done in these meetings. So
No, make your case.
okay. Growing up as a multi-generational agricultural advocate in the area, I am the president of the FFA, Future Farmers of America. I'm now an established 4-H group, and we are looking to be able to offer kids programs in teaching agricultural education here at Foxfield Farm in Branford, Connecticut. This was the town stables Lucy Hammer established for us, and she wanted to keep it as such. And our family is here to pursue in her name the things that she would have wanted us to do. And that is pursue agricultural education here at Foxfield Farm at 103 Cherry Hill Road in Branford, Connecticut.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Mikhail, I think you did this staff report, so would you like to
That's me, actually.
some information
Cover
about
that one.
Assistant
I
planner
covered
did
that
the
one.
staff report, this
Yep.
one.
Dan, was that you or was it Mikhail?
That's me. No,
Oh, I'm
it's,
sorry. Excuse. I'm sorry. Then
no
I had to
problem.
get down that for that one. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. All right, can everyone see?
Yep.
Everyone can see my screen, correct? All right, great. So it's in R5, the summer camp use, it'll be mostly a natural outgrowth of the existing horse farm. It'll be limited to 12 children, only for a few months out of the year. Any camp would have to go through the registering process with the state. Kind of a low intensity use. There's no new construction associated with the application. So the staff recommends that the commission approves it. And that's it. That's it for me.
Just add in the fire department comments.
Right. The fire marshal, he visited the property on May 1st. He basically determined that there's going to be a little bit of a modification to the existing barn area needed to comply if it was going to be used as a summer camp space, but that would have to go through that's part of the building department inspection. The fire marshal will have their own inspection as well. But other than that, there were no issues that the fire marshal raised. But that would just be the one condition, is that any comments made by the fire marshal would be adhered to.
Thank you, Dan. Are there any commissioners that have any comments about the application? Anybody? Okay, we don't have anybody. So is there anybody from the public who would like to participate? You have anybody? I don't see any hands. Okay, so I would ask the applicant, would you like to say anything else before we close this matter?
I'm very grateful and thank you very much. And it's the applicant. I am Taylor Chambers Scussel of Foxfield Farm LLC, and thank you very much.
Thank you too. Okay, so we'll close this matter and we will vote on it at the end of the public hearings. The next one is Craig Benafore, the applicant, zoning regulation amendment to sections 2.2, 4.8.L, and 7.20.B to add cannabis establishment microcultivator. Mikhail, I believe you did do this one.
Correct.
So you can enlighten us on this application.
All right. So we have Attorney Christopher Rousseau here. And
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
we can.
Great. All right, so I'll start, obviously. So good evening, everybody. For the record, my name is Christopher Rousseau. I'm a partner at the law firm of Pullman and Comley with an office at 90 State House Square in Hartford, Connecticut. Our firm represents the applicant before you this evening of 5 Spring Hill Road, LLC. I do know it looked like there was a little error in the agenda. That's actually the property owner listed there. So tonight we're going to talk about a petition to amend the text of the town of Branford zoning regulations. And with me tonight is Mr. Tyler Crespo, who is a representative of the applicant. So to provide a little bit of background, the applicant is in the process of purchasing the real property known as 45 Northeast Industrial Road there in Branford. And the plan is Elm City Ag LLC, which is an affiliate of the applicant, currently holds a provisional adult use cannabis microcultivator license. And upon purchasing the property, the applicant will be leasing the property to Elm City, under which Elm City will operate a microcultivator at the property. So in connection with all that, the purpose of the petition is to amend the zoning regulations as they pertain to cannabis establishments, particularly microcultivators. And to give a little bit of quick background, I'm not sure if everybody had a chance to fully review, but the petition adds cannabis establishment, microcultivator, and cannabis establishment as definitions to the text. It removes microcultivators from the cannabis establishment other definition, as it is now going to be independently defined as long as the text is approved. It adds cannabis establishment microcultivator as a special exception use in the IG2 zone. And it revises section 7.20B to address cannabis establishment microcultivator as a separate use. And if we want to talk about the specific text, I would be happy to answer questions or go into greater detail at the end of this presentation. So with that, I just kind of wanted to jump into the plan of conservation and development. So the town's plan of conservation and development, which was effective as of February 1st, 2019, places great emphasis on economic development, which provides one or more of the following: jobs, income for people, goods and services for people and or business, and or net tax revenue to the municipality. And the POCD does go on to state that both businesses and industrial development should be encouraged to take advantage of Branford's strategic location and provide for jobs, goods, services, and enhance the tax base. A survey completed as part of the POCD found that 52% of the residents of Branford want the town to do more in terms of attracting new stores, offices, industries, and other forms of economic development in the town. And so, in short, in approving the amendment and possibly allowing Elm City Ag to operate a microcultivator at the property pending special exception approval, if the text is approved, the town will accomplish the goals of the POCD by benefiting from employment, economic, and tax standpoints. And Elm City Ag's operation of a microcultivator will allow Elm City Ag the opportunity to employ individuals from Branford and the surrounding region, strengthen and diversify Branford's business portfolio, and provide substantial tax revenue benefits for the town and its residents, which can be reinvested back into the town's community to accomplish the other goals of the POCD. And I think with that, I thank you for your time and consideration. Myself or Mr. Crespo would be happy to answer questions you have. And on behalf of the applicant, we're excited to work with the town on this project, and we look forward to a successful outcome. So thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Rousseau. There's another person that's going to speak in behalf. Is it Craig?
Craig is the property owner. He's just here in support of the application tonight.
Okay. Is there anybody else, Attorney Rousseau, that's going to speak on your behalf tonight?
Well, we have Mr. Tyler Crespo here, so he could give a little bit of an intro on himself as well.
Okay, fine. If you'd like to speak, feel free to do so.
Okay. Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. My name's Tyler Crespo. As Christopher mentioned, represent 5 Spring Hill Drive as well as Elm City Ag. We are a licensed microcultivator through Connecticut DCP. Looking to pursue a microcultivation facility located within the back half of 45 Northeast Industrial. We have gone through a long, arduous process with the DCP and their regulations to end up where we are today. And the fuel behind our goal to bring the microcultivator license to the Connecticut shoreline. I'm currently a Maine resident, but a Guilford, Connecticut native, born in Bridgeport, grew up in Guilford majority of my life. Moved to California in 2009 to pursue a career in medical cannabis cultivation. Later moved back to the East Coast to Maine in 2015 and have been licensed with the Maine Office of Cannabis Policy under medical cultivation and medical dispensary licenses here in the state of Maine since 2015. I plan to take the industry experience that I've learned throughout the last 10 years of operation and hopefully bring it home to the Connecticut shoreline. So I'm here to answer any questions in regards to the topic or impact or anything in regards to the project.
Thank you, Mr. Crespo. Attorney Rousseau, is that it for your team? Or you have anybody else that wants to speak? Or
that's it from our team. And again, we would be happy to answer any questions anybody had after discussion by the commission.
Okay, no problem, because you'll have that opportunity at the end of the public hearing to do so if need be. So then I would ask Mikhail to give us a staff report on the.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm share my screen, so let me know when you see it.
Yes.
All right. So this is a text amendment to allow a new use, essentially within the zoning regulations. So the discussion of a particular proposal on a property is a little premature, but Obviously, the intent is to allow something to happen at a particular property in a future date if this is passed. So this amendment allows for a new license to be added to the zoning regulations, a new cannabis establishment license type called micro cultivator. Currently, our regulations only allow one state license to be used within an IG2 zone. And the micro cultivator license is another type of state license. So if we adopt this, we're allowing the hybrid retail license, and then we're also allowing micro cultivator license. The micro cultivator license is issued by the state of Connecticut, but in order to be able to use it, they need to have that be included in the use table in section 4.8. The use table in section 4.8 is where all industrial and commercial uses are listed, and what zones and districts they can be applied for. Currently, we only allow a hybrid retailer license to be allowed in the IG2 zone. And this would just add the micro cultivator to that zone as well. As the attorney for the applicant explained, there's background within the Plan of Conservation Development that wants to encourage economic development. Cannabis has been established as a commercial use within the town of Branford, and we currently have one existing retailer who's in business. So the question really here is whether or not this license is a use that we would like to see included in our use table and possibly be open the door for people to apply under that use. In order to sort of make an analysis of how to approach that, we did send out comments to departments that would be involved in land use decision making: the police department, fire marshal, town engineer, building official, and all of them either responded with no comments at this time, or just indicated that, like any other commercial use or industrial use, they would have to apply for permits and make sure that they're compliant with those permits, such as fire safety and building code aspects for any development. We also took a look at the amendment criteria. So in 9.9 of the zoning regulations, it outlines what we're supposed to do when we're evaluating an amendment to the zoning code. We need to make a decision on whether the commission feels that this is pursuant to Connecticut's General Statute, Section 8.23, which basically means is it compliant to your plan of conservation and development. We are looking to protect public health, safety, welfare, and property values. We also look to attain what's the purpose of attaining these regulations. And in my staff comments, I go through each of these, some of which Attorney Russo mentioned. The other thing when looking at this as a use, what we typically look for is this use compatible? And in this respect, I looked at the hybrid retail cannabis use. I wanted to sort of evaluate how intense of a use is that compared to the microcultivator use. A retail store has a lot more traffic and customers that as any other retail establishment would have. Looking at the Institute of Transportation Engineers, their trip generation manual data, which is the number of trips that are generated by any type of establishment based on the size of the facility. A retail store can typically have in any weekday around 40 to 60 trips. So that's essentially customers per 1,000 square feet. While a smaller scale manufacturer, since they're not customer driven, like retail customers, you're only going to really expect 2 to 4 trips per day per 1,000 square feet. So it's a much less intensive use from at least a traffic standpoint. That's one aspect of looking at it. There are others. The other aspect is how does this particular use have any impact, positive or negative, on surroundings? Is it compatible with their surroundings? one of the main issues with microcultivators is actually a known impact of odor or smell can be associated with those if not properly addressed. As a result, in my staff recommendations, I make a suggestion that an additional line be added to the regulations if we adopt this. And you can see that in my staff regulations, add a new section 20.B.3.E. All cannabis establishments shall operate in a manner to ensure no odor from cannabis or cannabis products is detectable at the property line or beyond. I also make a recommendation that we need to correct the numbering that was proposed to reflect what the impact will be with the amendments adopted. So just to revise how the numbering was submitted in the application so that it would conform with the zoning text amendment. Those are all the staff comments that I had sent out earlier. I'll stop sharing and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I have a question, Fred Russo. Are there any towns, surrounding towns to Branford that have this type of an amendment or this type of a business?
I'm not aware of which communities have microcultivators. I do know the odor comment came about with the referral to SCROG, the Southern Connecticut Regional Council of Governments. I believe maybe North Haven might have a facility because they raised this as an aspect of concern in their community. And we took that input and are passing it on to the commission for consideration. Thank
you. I have one other question before I turn it over to the commissioners. The other question is, what is a micro cultivator? I'm totally unfamiliar with the term, what its purpose is, what it does. So if you can enlighten me and anybody else that's unaware of it, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I can answer. I'm sure that
okay.
The applicant will respond as well. It is defined by the state. It is a term, and they have a state definition that goes along with that. But essentially, a microcultivator is authorized to cultivate, grow, propagate, manufacture, and package the cannabis plant at an establishment containing not less than 2,000 square feet and not more than 10,000 square feet of grow space.
So does that include or not include retail sales as well, or is this just cultivating cannabis or actually selling it on a retail level?
It is not selling it on a retail level. Okay. It is purely for sale, purely for growing for the purpose of selling to other retailers.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to open this up to the other commissioners. Are there any commissioners here that have any questions they'd like to present to the applicant?
Well, not to the applicant specifically. This is Joe Chadwick speaking, but I would propose that in the add new section, the language to ensure no odor from cannabis or cannabis products. I really doubt that under normal circumstances, the cannabis or cannabis products would be detectable, but there could be agricultural processes or the means of production that would generate odors. And I think that's somewhat more material than just simply, saying cannabis. A lot of people tend to get their back up over that stuff. And it's not like I really can't see my experience with other similar facilities. The likelihood of having an agricultural process cause an offending odor is probably a lot greater than just simply smelling dope.
Is that it, Joe?
That's it.
Thank you. Are there any other commissioners who want to add to that? Anybody? Okay, if not, I will ask, is there anybody from the public who would like to comment on this application? Anybody from the public? I don't see any raised hands, so I will ask the applicant if he would like to make a closing statement.
Yep. So again, we thank you all for your time, and just kind of to expand on the micro cultivator definition a little bit, and then I'll touch on the odor. So Mikhail is correct that it says that it's not less than 2,000 square feet and not more than 10,000 square feet of grow space. In the staff report, there was one section cut off that says prior to any expansion authorized by the commissioner of the DCP. So if we were going to want to have the grow space be larger than 10,000 square feet, we would have to apply through them and go through their very robust approval process to do that. And then on the odor, I spoke with Mr. Crespo earlier. We're committed to allowing the language in there, and if this text amendment is approved, when we come to the special exception public hearing, we would be coming with a full odor abatement plan for review, a security plan for review, and then all the other kind of regular documents you have to bring along with that to get approval. So we would definitely be going more into those items if we could get past this first step.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Rousseau.
Thank you.
Mr. Crespo, did you have anything else to say, or we good with what was been said?
I think we're all on the same page. I think Chris summarized it pretty well. Yeah, Mikhail gave a pretty accurate perspective on what we're trying to do here.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for hearing.
So we'll close this. We'll close this part of the meeting out.
Right.
Yes. Joe?
Sorry. Joe Vayuso, I have a
Go ahead.
question.
I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering what kind of facility are we talking about? Is this an enclosed facility with lights and water and all that, or is this a greenhouse type of thing? What kind of a facility are we looking at?
So I'll respond, and then Tyler, if you want to add anything, please feel free. So it's a fully enclosed commercial building. All the grow happens on the inside. The packaging and the harvesting and everything, it's all inside. It's not done outside for public view. It's all done behind security measures and whatnot. So you will not see anything from the building.
So it's grown under grow lights and all that sort of thing, and ventilation is going to be a situation where you have to have fans or something for the heat or for cold. So how are you going to ventilate this place? And is it going to go into the air? And what kind of odor are we talking about?
Tyler, I'll let you comment on that because you know the systems better than I.
Yep, I'd be glad to help. So the property in subject here is a concrete block building for security measures that will help quite a bit. It has been used historically by Isoplexis and Kanusha Hirschman. Isoplexis using it for pharmaceutical lab R&D. So the building has very robust security measures already, including RFID chips and door access to all of the rooms. So the initial build out essentially will be very low impact. There'll be no structural alterations, just partitioning rooms constructed within the existing infrastructure. Those partitioning rooms, we use what is called a SIPS panel, which is a structural insulated panel. It's similar to that of a cold storage or walk-in freezer. They also build bridges out of it. They're very structurally sound, but it's a high R value secured by sheeted metal on either side. That allows us for the ability to really have a precision environment. So we use high profile HVAC to manipulate positive and negative air pressures within the building to force air that's contaminated in theory with VOCs, what they call it, a volatile organic compound, or terpenes is what is off-gassing into the air. And we force the air using positive negative pressure through series of a kind of multifaceted approach for odor mitigation. We use carbon filtration as well as what is called bipolar ionization. It's the same sterilization technology that NASA uses in all of their R&D facilities. I'm sure labs like Isoplexis also incorporate the technology, but it binds active carbon molecules to UV lighting and positively charges the environment to eliminate the pressure formed from the VOCs evaporating in the air. We then scrub that air through activated carbon and activated charcoal filters. So none of the air from the grow environment actually leaves the sub constructions within. It's what we call a sealed environment type of grow. And we use typical conventional industrial HVAC to cool that space, and then high velocity greenhouse fans to manipulate and move the air around to recirculate it within the environment. So the overall impact of the odor outside of the building should be minimal, and then that of at the property line should be benign.
What's your average temperature that you need to maintain to grow this product?
It depends on the stage of growth of the plants. There's 3 different primary stages of growth. They all vary slightly in relative humidity and target temperature, but the solid average is an average of about 70 degrees and 50% humidity, which is pretty easy for us to maintain using dehumidification, humidification where necessary, and then HVAC.
I'm concerned about when we have these 90 plus degree days with a hot sun, how are you going to cool this building enough, and how are you going to filter enough that these odors don't get more pungent than you're talking about?
So I guess for reference, I do currently operate a business and own majority share equity in Ripple Wellness LLC. We are vertically integrated here in the state of Maine, run a 20,000 square foot manufacturing, cultivation, distribution facility in Saco, Maine, as well as 1 dispensary in Saco and 1 dispensary in Biddeford. We've been licensed at this facility for 10 years using a similar odor abatement plan and have had historically 0 odor complaints in regards to our production manufacturing facility. So we plan to utilize the same procedures, both staff training and also infrastructure-wise, to ensure that we're not only compliant at the state level, but also ensuring a positive impact to our host community.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the education. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joe. If there are no more questions, I'll ask one more time. Does anybody else have a question?
Someone put something in the chat.
Yeah. So Fred, I'm going to read the question. It's from Abigail Ryder. Does the Connecticut microcultivator license, would you be operating under, require all of the air mitigation and scrubbing you described, or is it just the way your particular business does it? I think they're asking whether or not your Connecticut requires this air quality mitigation, or are you operating?
I do understand the question, and for short, no, the DCP does not require this level of air quality and filtration. However, they do have mandatory lab testing requirements that our product does uphold. Part of that is microbial contaminants, and that is a huge reason why we maintain such a high level of cleanliness and high level of air ventilation purification within our workspace, is to deliver an exceptionally clean product to the end consumer.
And then just to kind of expand on Tyler's comment, so I've worked on a number of these applications in and throughout the state of Connecticut. So yes, the DCP doesn't go as far as talking about air quality standards, but like you all on the commission, you see this come up in this various zoning regulations throughout the state of Connecticut. So that's kind of how it's dealt with. And then when you have high quality operators like Tyler and his team, you will see that the methods they use are very good and they're first class. So you addressing it in the zoning regulations is kind of where the air quality and odor abatement comes into play.
Yeah.
I don't see any other questions or raised hands.
Okay, so then we will close this.
I have a question. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Marcy.
Marcy? Okay, Marcy, go ahead.
Maybe I missed it, but I'm just curious about the coverage area that this microbrewery would serve, and generally how many, like where the next microbreweries are located, geographically from this point. Basically, how did you pick Branford as the place to set up the service, since you're from Maine and all that?
Yep. So in short, I'm originally from Guilford, Connecticut. My family still resides in Guilford. And this has been a lifelong goal of mine to operate within the legal market back in the Connecticut shoreline area. And then on top of the question of geographically and demographically, what markets we serve, we are licensed in Maine and have been for the last 10 years with the end goal of, national expansion and obviously coming home to our family in Connecticut. But then B, past that, there are only currently 7 licensed cultivators within the state of Connecticut and only 18 provisional license holders. So if all of us manage to pursue a final active license, there may only be a total of 24 licenses throughout the entire state of Maine. So the 24 producers or less will service the entire state of Connecticut. My apologies. Will service the entire demand for cannabis, recreational cannabis throughout the state. So Branford, this property was highlighted throughout a long-term search, and it does fit the criteria quite well. The location is ideal among the existing infrastructure that allows for very plug-and-play scenario. So it does seem to check all the boxes and is in the existing IG2 zone. And that's where we thought it would be a cohesive fit within the town.
Where is the next closest one, out of curiosity?
Chris, maybe you could help highlight that. I know the cultivations that I'm.
Yeah, I think there might be one in North Haven. I know of a very large grow operation in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. That's a full cultivator site. That's not a micro cultivator. So I believe that one's like 100,000 plus square feet. So a very different animal. So the micro cultivator, it's a pretty small operation in the grand scheme of things. And so, yeah, I think there is one in North Haven, and I'm not sure of the other provisional license holders where they're going. I do not actively represent them.
Do you know how the size of this one compares to North Haven? Are they comparable?
I believe it's another micro cultivator, so you're set within the parameters of DCP. So it has to be at least, what is it, 2,000 square feet, and then to start it's 10,000, and then if you go through again the robust license measures that DCP has, a micro cultivator can be up to 25,000. And that's when you hit another threshold and you would have to expand to be a full cultivator. Okay. So they're probably, I would comfortably say they're between 2 and 10,000.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marcy. Is there any other commissioner that has a question for the applicant?
I have one or two more questions.
Go ahead, Joe.
Do you ever run across an insect problem or a plant disease problem? And if you do, how do you work that? How do you control that?
That's you, Tyler.
Yep. So that's a very broad spectrum question. Obviously, with any agriculture, there's pathogen pressures, what we call it in the agricultural industry. Pathogen pressure can come from insects, bacteria, pretty much any foreign matter within the cultivation space. Uh, Being an indoor cultivator, we kind of pride ourselves on what we call precision agriculture and maintaining a very precise kind of clean room status, almost pharmaceutical grade, surely a food grade operation. Part of this is very tight and very refined standard operating procedures and training methodologies. So the way we cultivate is from a clone or from a tissue culture, which tissue culture is a microbioscience approach to basically a genetic duplicate, but it's happening within purified, clean space and under sanitized conditions. So we're starting with clean plants every single round, and then our procedures, the in our closed and sealed environments, there should never be internal pathogen pressure. The only risks really come from employees and failure to follow staff training or standard operating procedure when it comes to degarming. There's specific garments and specific attire that is worn only within the facility and sent out for cleaning every week. And so as long as our procedures are abided by, pet and pathogen pressure is not of a giant concern. I am a licensed pesticide applicator, and I've been licensed in the state of Maine for commercial pesticide applications for the last 8 years. I've only had to use a pesticide application 3 times over the course of that 8 years, and it was on precautionary measures and not on a consumable crop. So I feel confident in our existing procedures and our ability to prevent pathogen pressure in its entirety.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Are there any other commissioners that have a question before we close the public hearing? Nobody, no chats? Let me just check that. No chats. Okay, so we're going to close this public hearing now and probably vote on it after the public hearings are all finished. We have a third public hearing, A Chance for Love Rescue Incorporated, care of Adriana Pepe, applicant, Hadlo LLC owner, 53 East Industrial Road, Unit 1, special exception for an animal shelter for cats. Is the applicant ready?
Hi, I'm ready. Good evening.
Go ahead, Ms. Pepe.
Okay, so my name is Adriana Pepe, and I am the founder of A Chance for Love Rescue. A Chance for Love Rescue is a 100% volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization that was founded in 2016, and we became incorporated in 2022. Each year, the number of cats we provide assistance to grows, with last year assisting roughly 150 cats. We currently have 3 programs, which are our foster program for cats that we rescue until they are homed, a TNR program, and that stands for Trap, Neuter, Return of Feral Cats. And we also have a resident cat program, and that is for cats that we rescue and we find out they have significant medical issues and they are not candidates for adoption, so they are cared for in a foster home setting for their lifetime. We are requesting approval for a special exception permit for an animal shelter to make 53 East Industrial Road, Unit A1, our central home to better assist our rescue efforts of caring for Connecticut's felines. The need for us to have a central location as we grow is very great, as we have seen an increasing number of cats abandoned or in need of care, and we cannot sustainably operate on foster homes alone any longer to help these cats. There are no changes to the unit, and all of the cats will be kept indoors. The space is 800 square feet, and we do not anticipate on housing more than 10 to 12 cats at a time. All of the cats will be up to date on state-mandated vaccinations, spayed or neutered, tested for disease, and dewormed. The cats will be cared for in shifts by volunteers and open to the public by appointment. the shelter will be licensed by the Department of Agriculture and subject to inspection.
Is that it? Ms.
That-
Pepe, is that,
yes.
okay, thank you very much. Well, then I'm going to ask Mikhail to read, I'm sorry, this is Dan's report. So Dan, can you
Yep.
give us a report on the applicant?
Absolutely. There, I'll share my screen. Can everyone see?
Not yet.
How about now?
Good.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. So at 53 East Industrial Road, you can see on the map here, it's in unit unit 1 in building A, an industrial zone, IG2. No new construction is included in this application or is necessary. There's an aerial view of the property. It conforms with the POCD through, maintaining and enhancing community facilities, which includes public safety. The animal shelter will work towards this goal by taking feral cats off the streets and into an environment where they can be treated and cared for appropriately. Again, they're applying for a special exception for the use of animal shelter. Commercial kennel is kind of grouped in with that sometimes, but it's not applicable in this scenario because commercial kennels only apply to dogs. This shelter will be strictly for cats only. The only comments that raised any concerns from the other departments was from the town engineer. And that was just at the time of the tenant fit-up application. They'll want some more information on how they'll manage pet hair for their washing operations. And that would, again, be part of the tenant fit-up application down the road following any kind of special exception approval. So the staff, with all that information in mind, the staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve the special exception application for the use of animal shelter at 53 East Industrial. That's it from me.
Thank you, Dan. Do any commissioners have any comments for the applicant? Anybody? Okay, we have none. I'll ask again, is there any commissioner that has a question about this application? Okay, if not, is there anybody from the public that would like to talk on behalf of this application? Anybody who would like to discuss this application? I don't see anybody. Is that, I'm not sure. I see an Ashley.
Hi, sorry. I'm in the car. I can't
That's
raise
okay.
my hand.
That's okay. Go
My
ahead.
name's Ashley Borzensky. Adriana is a really good friend of mine and a great person. She's helped me a lot with a lot of cats. We became very close. I'm one of the fosters right now because the location's not in play yet. But she's helped me with so many cats, and we've gotten so many cats adopted into good homes. I can't say any more good things other than I really hope this pulls through because it's going to be a great thing.
Is that it? Ashley?
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, is there anybody
Thank
else
you.
that wants to say something?
Hi, can I say something?
Yeah, please identify who you are.
Yes, so my name is Cheryl DiFilippo, and I oversee the Greater New Haven Cat Project, another 501c3 cat rescue organization. We're currently based in New Haven. And I just want to sort of enhance what Ashley had just stated, and also to confirm what Adriana had presented. But also to say that I've been overseeing my organization for the past 25 years. And being in a physical location lends credibility to the organization. And when you have better credibility, you're able to apply for more funding for spay-neuter resources or foster care resources, which can only help the animals, the cats, that you're trying to find homes for or to get spayed or neutered or the feral cats that are being TNR'd. It can only have a positive impact on the community. I'm sure Adriana, would do collaborations with, community events and whatnot. And it can only have a positive impact on your town to just have her and her organization have a solid presence in Branford. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, do have a question in the chat.
Oh, go ahead.
David McKay, this will be for the applicant. Do the cats have any outside time? If so, where?
Hi, no, the cats will be housed strictly indoors.
Can we have any other questions? I don't see any. I'll ask again, is there anybody for public input to this, on this application? If not, I have one question though. Is the organization self-funded, or just how is it that they pay their bills?
So a 501c3 is funded majority by public donations or grants. So majority of our donations come from private individuals that donate towards our cause.
And you should be commended for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that has a question or would like to add to this conversation? If not, I'm going to close the public hearing and move on to the next step, which is voting on these three applications. I just want to, before we begin that deliberation, I want to make sure that Sharon Hutner is, yes, she's there. I see her coming on.
I'm here.
Okay, Sharon, you're going to be
I'm
on.
in line to vote.
Okay, good. Just to make sure that you're on board. Okay, so I guess what we can do is start the public deliberation of this, and I guess we should start with the first one, which is the John and Yvette Chambers application. And okay, is there anything we should know with either findings or conditions on your? This is Dan. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Dan. On your report.
Yeah, the only conditions were just that the comments provided by the fire marshal in terms of modifications to the barn space be complied with at the time of the inspection down the road. That's part of the building department.
Yeah, Dan, why don't you share your screen so they can see the findings and the conditions, so they know what they're voting on.
Absolutely. Just 1 second. Right. Scroll down here. So the findings were subject to compliance with the conditions listed below. The summer camp is consistent with the special exception requirements and the zoning regulations. The conditions, the first one, that the special exception would have an effective date of today, September 4th. And the other condition that all comments and conditions provided by the fire marshal must be complied with.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we can vote on this. So I'm going to ask for someone to make ask for a motion to approve. Can I get a motion?
Joe Vayuso, approve.
Joe Vayuso approves the motion. Do we have a second?
Joe Chadwick seconds.
Joe Chadwick seconds. Okay, let's go through the roll. Joe Vayuso, how do you vote?
I move to approve.
Okay. Joe Chadwick?
Joe Chadwick votes to approve.
Marcy Pelosi?
Marcy Paluzzi votes to approve.
Sharon?
I think this is a great opportunity for children to have in Branford to get closer to nature, so I approve.
And I'm Fred Russo, and I approve. So that application has been approved. Congratulations to the applicants.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, you're all set. Second one is the zoning regulation. Mikhail, you want to go over that?
Yes, I'll share my screen. So the findings are that we would consider that they are compatible with the plan of conservation development. And then we find that the amendment is in accordance with the comprehensive plan and consistent with the plan of conservation development. There are two required changes that should be part of the motion. One is that the 7.20.b.3.b should actually read 7.20.b.3.a and revise the Roman numerals that were listed in the applicant's amendment from Roman numerals 4, 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3 Roman numerals. And then we are going to add, which is not included in their application, but add the following section, 720.b3e, that all cannabis establishments shall be operated in a manner to ensure no odor from cannabis or cannabis products is detectable at the property line or beyond. And then we seek that this amendment, if approved, would have an effective date of September 22nd, 2025.
Okay, thank you. So I will then ask for a roll call again and ask for someone to make a motion to approve this application.
Chadwick makes that motion.
Motion made by Joe Chadwick. Do we have a second?
Sharon,
How about you,
second.
Sharon, I think you were first, so we're going to give you the
Okay, Sharon
second.
Hutton will second.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Okay, let's go through and see who votes on what. Joe Vayuzo.
Joe Vayuso moves to approve.
Joe Chadwick.
Chadwick moves to approve.
Marcy Paluzzi.
Marcy moves to approve.
Sharon.
Sharon moves to approve.
And Fred Russo, I approve as well. So that motion is carried. The third application is the one for a chance for love rescue.
Yep, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right, the findings were subject to compliance with the conditions listed below. Animal shelter use consistent with the special exception requirements in the zoning regulations. Conditions being that special exception shall have an effective date of today, September 4th, 2025, and all comments and conditions provided by the fire marshal, or just that the fire marshal would perform an inspection as a standard through the tenant fit-up process, and the town engineer's comments about information regarding hair going down the drains must be complied with.
Okay. If we're done with that, then I will ask for a motion to approve this application.
Joe Vayuso moves to approve.
Joe approves. Will someone second the motion?
Chadwick seconds.
Joe Chadwick seconds it. And Joe Vayuzo.
Joe Vayuso approves.
Joe Chadwick.
Chadwick approves.
Marcy.
Marcy approves.
Sharon.
Sharon approves.
Fred Russo, I approve. So that we're finished with the public hearings. The next order of business is new business. And I guess, Mikhail, do you have anything that we should know about new business?
Yes, so item 1, we are still waiting for the state DEP review. It was submitted to them in August 18th, so September 18th, we will revisit it under old business. So we don't have to discuss that tonight. We're still waiting on the 30 days to expire. Item 2 is the text amendments from staff as a commission application to make amendments to section 2.2, 6.8C, 9.6K, and 9.6L. This is to be received, and we're recommending a public hearing be scheduled for October 9th.
Anything else?
Third item is another Text amendment regulation for landscaping under 6.3. We're also seeking to have a text amendment or a public hearing to be scheduled for October 9th. The fourth item is a special exception request for a convenience store and accessory apartment over the convenience store. This is actually a continuation of the caretaker's apartment conversation that you had in March or April. So they're actually going forward to seek to codify that request. Seeking a public hearing to be scheduled October 9th. And then the last item is 39 Prospect Hill Road. This is a special exception and coastal site plan review for accessory structure and for grading. We are seeking to have a public hearing be set for October 9th. There'll be 4 public hearings for that evening. We could also make it October 23rd if you feel 4 is too many. But right now we're going for October.
Joe Vayuzo?
Mention everything October 9th. Do we have a meeting, the next meeting in September?
We already have an agenda with 3 public hearings scheduled. I'm trying to keep the agenda somewhat manageable.
There was something going on that there was not going to be any meeting with. All right, now I know.
Yeah, we scheduled a bunch of things in July for September 29th or 18th.
Right.
All right, so those are the public hearing schedule. So we'll do October 9th. If there's any questions on those, otherwise we can move forward to the next item on the agenda.
Okay, the next item on the agenda are the minutes. There are 4 sets of minutes that you received in the packet. They were June 19th, July 10th, July 24th, and July 30th. And having a discussion with Cal about this, whether we had to approve them individually or we could do it as a single unit, Mikhail agreed that it would be, I think, okay to do it as one vote for the 4 minutes. If anybody has any questions about those minutes, then let's discuss them now. So does anybody have any questions about the minutes? Joe? Joe Vayuzo?
No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
Okay. Obviously, well, if there are no questions, then I would ask for someone to make a motion to approve the minutes as they've been sent to us.
Move to approve
Marcy will make that motion.
I think Joe got in there first, Marcy, so we'll give it to Joe.
Anyway, I'll second.
Okay, give it to Marcy, and Joe will take the second.
Should we list the 4 dates so it'll
I
be
did,
on record?
but I'll do them again. There's July 19th, 2025, July 10th, 2025, July 24th, 2025, and July 30th, 2025. Those are the 4 sets of minutes that we're going to vote on.
The first was June 19th.
June.
July.
Say that again, Marcy.
You just misread it. It's June 19th.
Oh, I'm sorry. June 19th, and then July 10th, and July 24th, and July 30th. So I stand corrected. So can I have a motion for approving these minutes?
We already have a motion. I motioned and
I'm sorry.
Joe Vayuzo seconded. So
let's take the
I
vote.
vote to approve.
Okay,
Marcy
so
votes to approve.
let's do it. Joe Vayuzo.
Joe Vayuzo approves.
Joe Chadwick.
Chadwick approves.
Marcy.
I approve.
Sharon.
Sharon approves.
Fred Russo approves. So the 4 sets of minutes have been approved. The next item on the agenda is correspondence, and I'll leave that to Mikhail to discuss those correspondence.
Yeah, so we received 2 items of correspondence: cell tower antenna replacement. It's a notification required by the state occurring at 723 Leeds Island Road, where an existing one already exists. And then Connecticut Deep correspondence regarding dock construction at 286 Linden Avenue. No other correspondence.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is old business. Again, Mikhail, I have to rely on you for this.
Yep. So these are public hearings for the next meeting, so in 2 weeks. And they say to construct 6 residential units. They're amending their application currently, and they're having the renotice. So long as they can get the renotice done in time, we'll still have a September 18th hearing. Otherwise, it may be pushed off.
Okay, thank you, Mikhail. And the last item on the agenda is other business. And again, Mikhail, if you could fill us in on this.
So there's 2 items listed there. Actually, I have 3. The first is there's a announcement that the Department of Planning and Zoning and the Department of Inland Wetlands and Natural Resources are merging. I'll be the new director, and then Jamie Fredericks will be the deputy director of this department. As you also might know, Jane Ellis resigned and is now working in North Haven. And we are currently in the process, and we actually made an offer to an individual to fill the zoning enforcement officer position. It will be a combined position of zoning and wetlands enforcement. That person is asked to give us a definitive response tomorrow. And so we might have a new person in that role, hopefully shortly. I think it's looking positive. And then finally, I sent out an email about commissioner training. There are a numerous amount of trainings being made available in October and November. If any of those are listed in that email, please let me know. There is one that does require a registration fee, and the town is happy to pay for that. But there is obviously a requirement to have 4 hours of training done at least every 4 years. So I don't know where you are with your hours. If any of you need to fill in hours, this is a good opportunity to do so. Happy to answer any questions. I will be sending out an email about the merger so you guys can have a bit more information. But I did talk to Chuck and a couple other committee chairmen. Yes, Marcy.
In the past, you had tracked our hours and when they would be up. So there should be something somewhere to that end.
I will look.
Because I really have no idea where I'm at.
Okay. Michelle and I talked about it this afternoon. We do know that there's something somewhere. We will find it.
Yeah, I'll check tomorrow.
It might be in Harry's secret vault.
Maybe. All right.
Any other comments before I ask for the meeting to be adjourned? If not, I will ask someone to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Marcy?
Marcy's here. Yep.
And do we have a second?
Chadwick seconds.
Joe Chadwick seconds the motion. And I'll ask Joe Vayuso.
Joe Vayuso approves.
Joe Chadwick.
Chadwick approves.
Marcy.
Marcy approves.
Sharon.
Sharon approves.
And Fred Russo approves. I just want to have a closing comment. Thank you all for being patient. Chuck not being here, I probably miss him more than anybody, quite honestly. But I'm happy to do the job as best I can, but I make no claim to have done as well as Chuck does. So thank you again for your patience, your time, and the staff as well. And if I'm called to do it again, I will. And each time I do it, you guys make the job a little bit easier. So thank you very much.
You did a great job, Fred.
Good night, all.
Here. I second that. Thanks, Fred, for stepping up and taking over.
Problem. Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Have a good
Have
night.
a good night.
Everyone.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.